Welcome to the DesignCast podcast, where we dive deep into the innovative world of educational design. I'm your host, Jason, and with nearly 30 years of educational experience, I'm here to guide you through transformative conversations that challenge the status quo. What is the DesignCast mission? It's to explore cutting-edge strategies, unique learning spaces, and diverse teaching methods to cater to the needs of every learner. Each week, we'll connect with passionate educators, visionary thinkers, educational startups, and inspiring authors who are reshaping the landscape of education today. This season, I'm also excited to share from my insights as an international educator and introduce you and share things from my new book, The Future of Learning: Designing Innovative Spaces that Transform Schools and Inspire Tomorrow's Leaders. So whether you're a seasoned educator, a curious learner, or someone passionate about educational innovation, you're in the right place. Join me as we unlock the potential of design in education and inspire the leaders of tomorrow. If you enjoy what you hear, please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your feedback helps us reach more listeners and continue to bring you the insights that matter. Let's embark on this journey together to inspire tomorrow's learners. Welcome back to another episode of DesignCast, and I am just absolutely so super excited about chatting with my friend Dan Thomas here today. Dan, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm living the dream every day.
And for some people, dream is a relative term, I understand. So
Didn't say what kind.
Didn't say what kind. So Dan, listen, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and sort of what you're doing, what you're working on, so people can get to know who you are?
Well, I am a STEM teacher, here in Jamestown, New York, which is about an hour and a half south of Buffalo over by Lake Erie. So I'm about as far away from New York City as you can get and still be in New York State. And I'm quite proud of that fact. I've been a teacher I'm in my 33rd year. I was a mid-year hire, which was awesome. And my first day of school was a snow day. I set off the alarm, so that was always fun. But I've been in the same school district. I've had one job since I left college in December of 92 in the late 1900s. At that job, though, I've done everything. I've taught robotics, coding, woodshop, metal shop, CAD.
Wow.
Right now, most of it I teach 7th grade STEM. I'm the guy that gets to play with the toys and move them on to somebody else.
Right. Dan, I'll tell you, I have a lot of guests on. I would say that in the time I've been podcasting since 2017, I maybe have had on 3 people who do what you and I do. Because, I mean, this is something that is not, it happens, but it's such a, I would say, specialized field. Because we were talking earlier, and I started my career as a TechEd teacher, and that's essentially it's changed names, I don't know how many times, but, it just continues to kind of cycle back. And so what is it that you really, really love about your job?
Oh, my God. Well, besides the fact that I teach 12-year-olds every day, and, that you never know what you're going to get when they come in the door because they're 12. I love the fact that I get to see a lot of aha moments all the time. And I get to see confidence grow, and I get to see eyes open, and I get to see, my class is the one that the kids remember when they come back, or I see them out in public, and when they're, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, they're like, remember that catapult project we did in your class blew up, or, those are what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Those are the moments I'm looking for in the classroom every day.
I'm with you, man. I mean, we're kindred spirits halfway around the world. But
yeah,
no, I love it, man. I know from your website, from your podcast, and from the work you do that you're into very similar things that I am: play-based learning, Lego, different things like that. So tell me a bit more about kind of how you incorporate those kinds of things into your classroom.
Well, kind of a little backstory here on this one. Last year we had our state conference. We have a state conference. It's called NICEGATE. It's Computers and Technologies in Education. I present it every year, and I did one. In this year, past year, I got to do a TED style talk. So this will connect the dots here in a minute.
Okay.
And my TED style talk was titled "Where's the Fun in That," which sums up what I do. Growing up, we always tinkered with stuff. We always played. We always built things. My dad never. We never went out and dumped something and bought a new one, right? The story is my dad was working on a car radio one day and I was over helping him. My brother shows up a little bit later. We were probably working on this radio for 2 hours. And my brother goes, well, why don't you just go to the store and buy one for $20? And my dad goes, where's the fun in that? Joy is in really, and I looked at that later on in setting up for this talk. And I'm like, you know what? That is how I framed my entire teaching career. Without realizing that's how I framed my entire teaching career, is where's the fun in that? Because we got to have fun, because that's where the joy and the learning is. It's not in the outcome. It's not in the product that they turn out, because that's going to be awesome anyways. But how did you get there? So that's my teaching thought, my teaching philosophy. What I like to do every day is instill some fun and some play, because one, they're kids. As we talked about earlier, they're still kids. We see them for so long that we forget that they're kids sometimes. We've beaten, for lack of a better term, the fun out of school with testing and mandate this and standard that, and, and just the stuff we have to cover that we don't let them discover the curriculum. We stand in the front of the room and we say, take notes, and then we regurgitate on the test. That test goes in the trash can on the way out the door. And they forget it. My class, my whole thought is we got to take what they're learning and use it so that they can have some ownership of it and have some fun doing it, so they don't know that they're learning.
Because I don't know how many kids leave school and remember what their score was on their 7th grade English standardized test, but they'll remember the catapult, or they'll remember the making the robot make a corner or something like that. So I know exactly what you're saying, man. We're on the same wavelength. That's awesome. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I really understand and I empathize and share in that same thing. So tell me a bit more. Like, I'm quite interested in Lego, and I'm quite interested in applications beyond what it might seem, like beyond just building a kit or putting it together to make a castle or whatever. I'm really interested in more of like the Lego serious play methodology and things like that. Have you had any opportunity to use that kind of thing at all?
Only on a daily basis. Tell me more. You got a couple hours? I mean, I could talk about Lego forever. I mean, who doesn't love Lego, first of all? I mean, Lego has a meaning. I don't know if you know that. It means play well.
Yeah.
Right? But it also, in Latin, they found out that it means I build.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, that was kind of an axle. They found that right. So I actually had a conversation about this the other day. So in my classroom, I have 100 pounds of just random bulk Lego. But I went to a Atlanta brick company of all places and bought some with at that point it was COVID money that we had from the government, and the guy goes, my boss says, well, what do you want? And so I bought Lego.
Yeah.
So I just have random buckets and totes of Lego in my classroom that are out. You know how some math teachers might do like a 5-question worksheet, or there's a question on the board, or
like a bell ring.
An English teacher might do something, or a language teacher might do something. Or they could do a little writing exercise while they do the administrative goodies. I do a build. Yeah. Right. And that build could be, sometimes 90% of the time it's an individual build. So each kid builds something, and I give them a time frame, like build a duck, build a chair, build something that moves without wheels, something that flies without wings. The possibilities are endless. Build a chicken, whatever it is. And I get some awesome things with that, and they're doing that. It's usually 5 minutes, and there's music playing. Sometimes it's a table build, because I got my kids grouped in tables of 4, and sometimes it's a bigger table build where they all have to compile together to build this one, something that hangs off the table, tallest tower. But what that does is that sparks creativity. So now the kids are engaged. The kids they're already excited to come in the classroom. I don't care if they're my 12-year-olds or they're my high school seniors. When the Lego bricks are out on the table, they're excited. They get to build things, and very open-ended, right? And that's what's nice about Lego is and you could use, and if you don't have Lego, it could be craft sticks, it could be pipe cleaners, it could be paper clips and paper and index cards and whatever you got, just brown bag engineering, basically. So what I do is we'll start with that, right? So just throw stuff in a brown lunch bag and hey, make this with it. And again, I hit up AI for some ideas when I ran out of them, but it's timely, right? It's timely, whatever, at Christmas time, it might be an ugly Christmas sweater, or a real St. Patrick's Day's coming up, it might be a shamrock. Halloween, it's a pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern, stuff like that. So we do all kinds of things like that. But what that does is it creates, and it starts hitting parts of the brain that we need to engage when we come in. It kind of creates a mindset, but it also hits a lot of different cognitive skills. And Lego Foundation, and you can Google that, as I'm not exactly sure where to find it.
Sure.
But Lego Foundation, their website is called learningthroughplay.com. They're affiliated with the Lego group that makes your Lego bricks, but not really. But they've done a big study on Lego bricks and play in the classroom. But that little 5-minute build or 2-minute build or whatever it is starts to hit like 28 different cognitive skills.
Wow.
With a little simple build like that, and try what other activity can you get, whatever tool or toy or whatever you want to call it, can you use that's going to hit 28 different cognitive skills. And it's things like spatial relations, things you would, spatial relationship, fine motor skills, but it's also self-regulation. It's emotional regulation. It's long-term memory, short-term memory. One of the classic Lego activities, because I do some training for Lego education on this side as well, where I get to go in and play with Lego, teach teachers how to play with Lego, which is awesome. If you've ever heard of the Lego duck.
Yeah, of course. Have
you ever heard of it? Jason, have you ever heard of the Lego duck activity?
Oh yeah, I've got one over here.
Little 6 bricks, right? Anyways, those 6 bricks, 30 seconds, and we build a duck, and I do that every first day of class with my kids. And every workshop I go to, I do it with my and that I present at, I do it with the people. And I never get the same duck. And it's awesome because now you can say there's more than one right answer. Because the kids are so trained to get one right answer. That they have a hard time with the open-ended multiple answer stuff in our curriculums and in our classrooms, or in the non-core academics, I call them. So that's just again, it's a mindset. And that Lego brick, building on that too, beyond the 5-minute build. Let's say I'm in an English class, right? And let's say I'm in a maybe it's a 5th grade, 4th grade English class where we're doing sentence structure. Well, you can take those bricks and say, okay, this red brick signifies a verb. This blue brick is an adjective. This white brick is a noun. And now you can build sentences with Lego bricks. I actually have Braille Lego bricks in my class.
Oh, that's cool.
Which are pretty awesome. Which you can get. Which you can get. So if you Google, they'll give them away. As long as you're not going to resell them. They'll give you a sets of Lego bricks.
That's cool.
5 sets. So in that same set of bricks in a science class could be a carbon atom, and an oxygen atom, and you're making CO2. Or in a math class, it could be fractions or expressions or algebra or geometry. You could build circles with them. You could build, they're not necessarily circles. They're 8-bit circles for us old people from the late 1900s. Played Mario Bros. And tag. But the brick itself, if you just see it as a building toy that's going to be able to build, a house or a car or whatever. But if you really, it can be that the meaning of the brick can be whatever you want it to be. And the build can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you can explain why it is what it is. So really, at the end of the day, it's how can that kid justify what this looks like? Because even if we build a pumpkin, all my kids are like starting to dig for orange bricks. Well, I kind of take the orange bricks out. Well, I have orange bricks. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? Right? Or I'll say pick out 50 random bricks or 10 bricks, and now we're going to build this out of whatever 10 bricks you picked. I don't tell them what we're going to build. So there's lots of stuff that go into this that just sparks some creativity. In an English class, you could take that same set of bricks too and say, now make a poem out of these bricks. Or what is your morning routine like? So if you're doing a computational thinking thing where you're going to do a set of instructions, I do a daily routine. So take these 6 bricks and stack them up. And this green brick means, hey, I'm getting out of bed. This white brick is I'm brushing my teeth. How does it build and what does it mean? And symbolism. And so there's a lot more. And this is a lot maybe coming from a shop teacher, right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man.
Than just a 2x4 brick. There's a lot there that you can do. And again, you can just, it can mean whatever you want it to mean.
I'm glad that you're not passionate at all about Lego.
No, not at all. And I'm glad you're not calling them Legos because that's Lego.
I am fully aware of the vernacular.
Yes.
The appropriate use of the word Lego. No, I'm with you, man. Well, I mean, that's, look, I'm actually have toyed with even having a whole podcast that's just dedicated to talking about various, Lego stuff in its applications, right? And so I may still do that. Maybe we can partner up and do something like that. But
webinar,
we could that would work as well, right? Like do some live streams and some webinars. But I find it's the great equalizer when you walk into even a staff lead. I work with some admin and some leadership, and I'll have a big stack of Lego, and I won't say anything in the middle of the table. I won't say anything about it. And of course, everyone comes in and grabs a few and just starts playing around with them, right? And so it actually is just so great to equalize, like you said, sort of, but in an adult situation, like with grown-ups, it does create flow, but in a very different way, because there's always that hierarchy of who's more important in the room and all those different things. And this just sort of levels it right out. So I'm with you, man. I love it. From a set of teachers, right?
There you go.
That's awesome. I know we could talk about this all day. I want to just ask you a couple things, shifting gears a little bit about what your current project is with your TechEd Clubhouse and all of this stuff that you're producing and creating at the moment. Tell me a bit more, a quick bit more.
All right. Well, like I said at the beginning, I've been teaching for 32 years. I'm retiring at the end of this school year.
Congratulations.
2.5 years. Excited about that. Ready for the next chapter. Not sure what that is. The TechEd Clubhouse. I went through a lot of naming conventions with it. I tried to figure some things out, and it's the things I love. I love TechEd. Nobody talks about TechEd. Everybody talks about EdTech, which is different.
Very different.
That's your mirror pods and your quizzes and all that, all those toys and tools, which are phenomenal and great like that. But nobody talks about the STEM part, the TechEd part. And so I like to talk about, how can I get TechEd out there? How can I get project-based learning out there? How can we get in the critical thinking? Because a lot of what we do, and it's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. We do real-world stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing projects in our classroom, and whether I'm building my catapults in my classroom, I could care less if that catapult launches that marshmallow across the room or not. I really don't care, and I'll tell my kids that. And 100%. That's not the point of it. The point of it is how can we think through it in the process to get there. So with my podcast, the TechEd Clubhouse, I really try to get out there some STEM stuff, some PBL stuff, and I bring on people that talk about mindsets and growth and just kind of shaking the education tree, because it needs to be shaken over here in the States a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's not working. And the Clubhouse part is because I like golf. I love to play golf.
Oh, nice.
In that Clubhouse thought and it's nothing on that old platform, that social media platform that
audio one. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that went away. But it's all about, I like to go play golf, and one of the best parts about the golf round is sitting in the clubhouse after having a beverage with your buddies, talking crap about what happened out there and reminiscing about the good shots and the bad shots. And I want to have those conversations, because those conversations are the ones that mean something, right?
Right.
So, and it kind of along those lines, and this you'll find that I go off on tangents a little
bit. That's okay, brother.
I just went to my first FETC conference in Florida, which is the Future of Educational Technologies Conference, which is phenomenal. And shout out to Jen Womble down there and her team. They do a phenomenal job. And one of the things she says is the real learning happens in the hallways.
Absolutely. Right? I love that. That's great.
So, you can go sit in a PD session, the kids can sit in your class, but really make those connections sitting in the hallways with them.
Yeah.
You really make those connections. And we get to have those connections because we have discussions with the kids while they're working. We're walking around where the kids are busy on something and they're asking questions. And we can have the conversation about, hey, do you understand what's going on here? Oh, by the way, how was your basketball game last night? Or when's your ice skating thing? Or when's the band concert? So you can have these, or how's your mom doing? Right? Because a lot of my kids that I have now, because I've been there so long, are kids of former students in my small community, which is
great.
I even have kids of kids.
Right.
Which is, I'm old.
I get
So not, age is a number. Age is a number. So what I'm working on there is just getting that word out there. So I got a couple other things I'm working on. I'm working on a book.
Oh,
Hopefully it's going to come out soon, called "Where's the Fun in That?"
Oh, that's great.
And
Yep.
I alluded to that earlier.
Yeah.
So based on that, I'm working on, and it's not an easy process for a shop teacher to write a book, but I got that going. These fingers don't work on the keyboard. My head gets ahead of it, and so I'm working on that.
Yeah.
And putting some stuff out there. I'm on LinkedIn, and I think that's how we met.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking about starting a newsletter to just get some stuff out there that has projects. My website has some projects on it that I do, and I'm going to start adding more. And I found, and through COVID, I found this great website, these great people at Wakelet. I don't know if you've ever heard of Wakelet.
Wakelet, absolutely.
Wakelet, so I got space there. So if you go to wakelet.com/Coach Thomas Tech, that's my little company thing.
Okay.
My like big umbrella, if you will. It's kind of a little umbrella like in a drink. Hopefully it's going to get bigger. So I'm putting some stuff out there for people to get. And when I do things, Jason, my big thing is, and my big thought behind anything I do is the fact that you could look at something I give you, something I talk about, something I promote, and have something you can walk into your classroom tomorrow and use. How many times you go to a workshop or you go to a conference and you walk out with eyes glazed because they threw all these things at you.
Yeah.
Which is great, or they give you kind of all this rosy pictures of stuff, which is awesome. But what I want, because you know how this is when we go to PD days, it's not for us 9 times out of 10. And so I try to give people something that they can turn key and use tomorrow, what they got without a heavy lift. So I'm excited about doing some of that stuff and making some more connections. And maybe one thing you don't know about me too, Jason, and this may be a way for people to connect, is I'm on all the socials with the account Coach Thomas Tech. But I'd post a daily selfie with a dad joke every day.
Nice. Okay.
I don't put that on LinkedIn.
No, it's not the platform for that.
Not the platform for that, but I started that a few years ago. I started that before COVID.
Wow.
Holy cow, that was a long time ago. Because everybody takes the first day of school picture.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a smart aleck. In that regard. So I took the second day, third day, fourth day. And then somebody goes, oh, I bet you can't do it for the whole year. And I'm like, well,
challenge accepted.
Exactly. Then I got bored with it, and I'm like, I got to do something different. So I've been posting dad jokes for probably 5 years.
Wow.
And the number of people, Jason, that I meet, or I'll meet at a conference or whatever, you're the dad joke guy.
Dad joke guy. Yeah.
And I was doing dad jokes before dad jokes were a thing to do.
There you go, man.
Because they're cringy and they're school appropriate. So a lot of people I've talked to use them on their daily morning slideshows and stuff like that.
That's great.
But again, it goes back to Jason. It goes back to having fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're having fun, it's not work.
Agree. You never go to work.
No, I didn't work a day of my life. Well, maybe
there you go.
That's all. Rough years.
Well, we all have those to remember, but what makes us stronger, right? So, Dan, this is great. I know we can talk all night. I also know it's nighttime for you. I got to get my day started here. So you've already talked about how people can get in touch with you. Can you tell me, if you had to isolate and pick one book, one book or one resource to share with people, what would it be?
Oh my. Well, can I do more than one?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I usually drop them onto the Goodreads shelf. So
there's the first one. There's a couple, actually, and I've been lucky enough to be in a couple book studies through the COVID years. The one I just put down was called Play, and I believe it's by Dr. Stuart Brown.
Okay.
Who has a foundation. Tells about how the role of play in learning, and it relates it to how animals learn. It's not a feel-good novel to sit down and it's there's some serious stuff in there. The other one, which is a little bit more involved, is called Flow. And if you ask me to spell the guy's name, I'm gonna butcher it because there's
No, it's okay. I know Flow. Yep.
great book. Did a book study with that. And then the last one I read was the Lego Serious Play Method.
Okay. Yep.
Great book, a great application for the classroom. I'm actually Lego Serious Play certified.
Yeah.
Through a company down in Australia called Play for Business.
They're awesome.
Yes. It was just a natural progression of what I was already doing. So it's not a heavy lift. But those three books are awesome. And I like to listen to a lot of them on audiobooks and podcasts on audiobooks because I'm out walking, if I'm here at golf, I'll throw my headphones in and listen to a book as opposed to music or something. So that you absorb something. Or driving, because I drive all over the place and, I put too many miles on my car.
I hear you, man. It can be soothing. Dan, that's
awesome. It is.
Thank you so much. I will make sure all of this kind of gets formulated and put into the show notes. But yeah, it's all good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. So, Dan, we could talk all day. I know that, but I think it's probably time to start wrapping things up. So I really appreciate you sharing this with me. I have one last question for you, and that is, if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would that be?
Do what you love. Just do what you love. And it's not necessarily follow your passion, but follow what you're good at.
Right.
Do what you're good at, and be you. It was more. Sorry.
No.
Just follow the rules.
That's okay, and I appreciate that. Maybe that's the third one is don't follow the rules.
There you go. Don't follow the rules.
Dan, this has been so much fun. I hope at some point maybe we can have you back on and chat about your book once that comes around. So just let me know in 3 or 4 years when it finally publishes.
Yeah. It might be that long.
It might be that long.
Although if it keeps snowing here in Jamestown,
you may be in the flow, right? Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason. It's my pleasure.
The Future of Learning, Designing Innovation Spaces That Transform Schools and Inspire Tomorrow's Leaders by Jason Reagan is an essential guide for educators, administrators, and community leaders looking to create dynamic, cutting-edge learning environments. This comprehensive handbook provides a blueprint for designing innovation spaces that foster creativity, collaboration, and hands-on learning, preparing students for the challenges of the 21st century workforce. Drawing on insights from the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025, the book highlights the critical skills students need to thrive in an ever-evolving job market, such as analytical thinking, resilience, and technological literacy. Through detailed chapters, Reagan explores the benefits of innovation spaces, including enhanced creativity, increased student engagement, and the development of essential collaboration and problem-solving skills. He also addresses common challenges like funding, resistance to change, and infrastructure limitations, offering practical strategies to overcome these obstacles. The book delves into various educational models, such as design thinking, the engineering design process, and maker education, providing educators with frameworks to implement human-centered, experiential learning. It emphasizes the importance of flexible, adaptable physical spaces equipped with the latest tools and technologies, from 3D printers and robotics kits to virtual reality and coding platforms. Safety protocols, training, and community engagement are also key themes, ensuring that innovation spaces are inclusive, safe, and supported by the broader community. With a focus on continuous improvement, the handbook offers guidance on evaluating programs, conducting skill development workshops, and staying updated on the latest trends in education. It also includes curated resource lists, funding opportunities, and strategies for building partnerships with local organizations and educational institutions. Whether you're looking to transform a classroom, create a makerspace, or design a community innovation hub, This book is a valuable resource for anyone committed to fostering creativity, collaboration, and lifelong learning. The future of learning is more than a guide. It's an inspiration to reimagine education and empower the next generation of innovators and leaders.
This podcast is a proud member of the Teach Better Podcast Network. Better today, better tomorrow, and the podcast to get you there. Explore more podcasts at www.teachbetterpodcastnetwork.com. We'll see you on the next episode.